Welcome back for the first time. My name is Kevin.
And my name is Eleni.
And this is the Full Disclosure Podcast with the Arguello brand.
Here we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, all things marriages go through, but do not talk about. We'll talk about deep things. You'll hear his story, her story, and how it all binds together, how different we are, and how we make it all work.
Well, before we all get started, we ask you to please join us on our social medias. You can follow me on Instagram at @I_NeedClout_, and you can follow my lovely wife at the Mrs. Arguello. Definitely watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Arguello brand. Also, press that like button just because, why not? Share and comment. I'm looking forward to our interaction. So, today's podcast is about my wife doing the craziest thing. I'm not even sure how I approved of it. Actually, I do know how I'm sure. She took advantage of me while I do my ride share for 12 hours. And then I came back on autopilot, which basically is just like, yeah, sure. And then I'm asleep. We'll hear her side of the story right now. Let me see.
I mean, it is kind of crazy. I've done other crazy things, like delivering two of my kids unassisted. I'm pretty determined and persistent, so when I set my mind to something, I go for it.
Like that program, 75 Easy?
75 hard, and why'd you have to bring that up? Alright, for those that don't know, I've attempted 75 hard 6 to 7 times, and listen, I've lost count. 75 hard is a program. You do 5 critical tasks for 75 days straight, and if you miss a task, you have to start over. And I've had to start over a few times.
So my logical, most intellectual question is, why do you keep doing it? Like, can't you make the program work for you like I'm gonna do when I get to our home? AKA our house, AKA the mortgage type shit, you feel me?
Well, 2 reasons. The first one is this program is gonna develop my mental toughness, and in order for me to be who I wanna be, I can't be who I am. I gotta do something completely different. And the other part of it is that when you find somebody who has what you have, you do what they do. To introduce the topic of the podcast.
First of all, you're not going to introduce it. I am. I actually agreed to let Eleni quit her job. Or did I?
That's crazy. Okay, yes, I did quit my job. I did the craziest thing. We never actually thought we would be here. All right, so how did we get here? So I remember it was the last day of school before Thanksgiving vacation, so this was around November. Everyone was happy because they were going to get a week off. But I've never shared this with anybody, I actually cried in my classroom because I was going to have to be with my kids for a whole week, and that was pretty much torture to me.
Like, I live with you, and so do our kids, so I'm just going to say, wow.
I know it sounds a bit gruesome, but, they say that the problem is the difference between reality and the way you want it to be. And those 2 things were really different.
What are you even talking about? Like, how so?
Alright, so I don't know. I don't think I was a mom I wanted to be. I've gotten better, and I'm still nowhere near that mom. Don't be mistaken. I love my kids. I wouldn't trade them for the world. I don't think I'd trade any part of my life for anything else. But they can be a bit much, especially with how active they are.
Well, first of all, we got 4 kids. 11, 6, 4, and 1, right? So 2 boys, 2 girls, right? So just to sum it all up, all my kids, they are extremely rambunctious. They're not like those little white kids that just, you can just hold their hand and you can just do whatever you do and they're going to stay right by you. Like, if I hold my kid's hand, he's going to yank it away. And then when I look towards, traffic, he's going to be the opposite direction of where I'm at. And I have to go run at him just like I would do a dog. And then when you run after a dog, usually a dog runs away from you. So this is the shit that I go through. So just to sum it all up, they're super rambunctious.
So I cried on that Friday, but something during the week changed my heart.
So obviously the only question is, what changed your heart tonight?
I can't really pinpoint it. I do always think about that time when I was pregnant with Nova. And when I was pregnant with her, I was mad because I was only going to get 6 weeks off. Because of COVID, 6 weeks turned into 6 months. But still, 6 months is still young to leave your baby. So thinking I would have to leave that one baby plus my other kids, I was like, what in the world?
I don't know if this is going to offend anybody, but welcome to the Full Disclosure Podcast. I think COVID really was like a blessing in disguise. For some people though, because I know some people, we're originally from New York. We've been in Texas for about 3 years now, babe?
Our 3-year anniversary is coming up.
The biggest opportunity for us is that we don't want to chase this rat race. You know what I mean? We don't want to be corporate or anything like that. I guess
I would call that more of a mental shift.
I'm gonna mentally shift to not ever working again. COVID ended up happening, and I made sure to take advantage of that. And we kind of had to reassess. And then I did the ride share, and the ride share really put us back in position because we're in Texas. Everybody needs a ride over here. So thankfully, you know, my wife told me, you know, do ride share and shit. I did ride share, and I made more than I was working. I was that job, and at that job, I was really working. Like for those 12 hours that I was at work, I was like working out. You know what I mean? And I hate working out. But when I moved to my new house, aka mortgage, you know what I mean? I'm gonna switch it up, and I'm working on my body and my craft. So I mean, with all that being said, Texas was really ideal when we first got here because of the athlete school thing. COVID happened, so now we're more of a home school for our kids.
So it was kind of like my kids drive me crazy, get this thought to leave, and we want to homeschool, which is a huge shift from what we had previously talked about.
So let me get this right. What was your pitch to me that made me say, okay, you can do this, babe? Because I don't remember.
I was a teacher. That's what I wanted to do forever. I wanted to be a teacher. You know, I did it. I got my teaching degree, and I don't think I've shared this with anybody else, but when I did start doing my teaching, it was something in me who was like, there was some hesitation there. It was kind of like, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? The money was good, and it's something that I've always wanted to do, so I followed along with it. You know, it's kind of like it was my dream forever. So life happened. I didn't become a teacher until we got here. We finally get here, and I can do it. It's, you know, it's feasible. The money's good. It puts us in a good place. But there was always that kind of like something pulling me back, and I would always pray like, God, if this is not for me, then I don't want to do this. But I just kept pushing forward, and I'm really glad I did push forward, because those 2 years that I was a teacher have really set me up. When I came up to you about quitting my job, it was scary, but you know, I knew that you wanted to start a business. You know, I knew you want to start multiple businesses. I know you still want to start multiple businesses. I know you want to do YouTube, and none of that had really been happening the way we had imagined it. Now that I think about it, I remember being in New York and us recording some podcasts because you wanted to start a podcast. I remember starting the YouTube channel because that's what you wanted. So it was kind of like something that was always at the front of your mind, but there was really no sustainable action behind it. With me being out the house for 8 to 10 hours a day, coming home, having to feed y'all, put the kids to bed, and really that's what it felt like. I mean, I would come home, I would feed y'all, put the kids to bed, and most of the time I did some things here and there. Like obviously I had to do laundry, but even that I was behind time. You know, sports, like that was kind of it. I didn't feel like I had any free time, and I was always tired during the weekend. So I didn't do much then either.
How did you pitch me about the money? Because I have no recollection of this. I don't even know why you're still home here doing this podcast with me right now. You should be at work right now.
Well, I'm good with money. I'm pretty frugal, especially for the greater good. I also knew that if you made the bare minimum at your job, that would be enough to cover all the bills. And I knew that if you made a little bit more, we'd be set.
So you were pretty much banking on me?
I would say it's a short-term sacrifice for a long-term result. I mean, if you think about it, we're going to put in a few years of really hard work to get a bigger reward at the end. I knew that if you covered all the bills and I got us started on YouTube and whatever entrepreneur stuff we, decided, that would be a good... We would do it together, but I would definitely be jump-starting it. Like, I would be able to do my research and my training so we can get it started. And it would put us on the right path. I know it's not going to happen right away, which is something that you want, but we would be comfortable. Do you remember the first time I brought it up? What was your initial thought?
I mean, like, this whole entrepreneurial, leap and shit is a lot different. Okay, what I noticed is that I left my job before my wife did. So I left my job probably, a year before you or 6 months before you? Mm-hmm. What I noticed is that I was working 45, 50, 60, 65, 70 hours at my, rat race job, and I was getting paid X amount. But I was fucking tired, bro. I'm an industrial athlete. If you don't know what that is, please Google that, and then please leave a comment and talk your shit. You know what I mean? Because I can tell you what it is. I was an industrial athlete. My back would hurt all the time, and I'm not the most physically fit. So like a lot of things would hurt. I'm not doing it the way that the training manual says to do it. You know what I mean? What I noticed is that the people at work were more like my family. These were the people like, yo, you want to eat, bro? Like they would do all that family type. What I didn't like is that I didn't have that with my wife. I didn't have that with my kids. I was seeing my kids. The only time I would see my kids was just, bye baby, I love you. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't see them in the morning because they're asleep. And I didn't like that shit. So once that got into my brain, I pitched it to my wife. She kind of ate it up. And then I kind of fucked up because I should have stayed at work. Because now I have to work 70, 80 hours to make, a bunch of money. And this is just with the YouTube. Imagine once we start doing all the other endeavors, we're going to do like 100 plus hours. But I love that, man. You know what I love? Because I just recently, I have full ownership of my luxury BMW car. And it feels really good to have ownership of it. And I just want to have ownership of everything. I just paid off this iMac that we're fucking listening from. Mine. You feel me? It just feels a lot better than renting shit. And then, you know, we're about to walk into this house. We're about to own that shit less than
12 hours.
You know what I mean?
24 hours.
24 hours. So, I mean, like, the entrepreneurial step is a lot more time consuming, but in the long run, if
I agree with Kevin. I think we had the same thought. Him quitting his job to do rideshare was a big jump for us as well, because it went from, you know, stability to now it's kind of like he has to literally put in the work to get the money. But I have faith in him. I know I brought it up a few more times and he kind of brushed it off. It wasn't until the end of December that we finalized on some things and we kind of said, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We decided that all debt needed to be paid off, so we didn't have that burden. We also decided that he would start covering all the bills in January, so we would get a feel of what it felt like. The other crazy part was that we wanted to buy a house. So that was kind of a twist on me leaving my job with income security to now having to buy a house.
I'm gonna be honest with you, if it was up to me, I would have never even thought about a house. I'm from New York. I'm not from public housing, but I'm from public housing. You feel me? I'm all about apartments and shit. You feel me? So like, I don't know what a house is. But when I figured out what was really important was, in an apartment, you can call the super or the maintenance man to come through and fix your fucking blinds, fix the window, whatever. In a house, I gotta fix that shit. Right now, we about to move in and I gotta paint this whole house by myself. And then I gotta fix the fixtures outside. And then I gotta fix the fucking toilet because my wife wants new toilets on every fucking damn bathroom. I gotta do that shit.
And new sinks, but he didn't know that yet.
New sinks. Oh my god. The sink is fucking... I have to move the sink from the right all the way to the left. Like, what the fuck? I don't even know how to freaking screwdriver. I just know the drink.
That's mad funny, babe. So wanting a house brought a lot of challenges in itself. A house, it would probably cost more money. We wanted a specific type of house. We wanted specific features. But at the end of the day, a house was what we needed for our family. One, to start us off on investor mindset. And two, to kind of give us a space that we needed. Because we're a family of 6 and right now we're in a 2-bed.
So I fucked up a little. I obviously wanted a house and my wife told me it was feasible if if you leave your job and do ride shit. You know what I mean? We'll get there faster. And I was like, all right, bet. So if I leave my job, this is what I want in my house. I want 4 bedroom. I want a 2-story, which means 2 floors. Then I want the biggest back. This woman ended up finding the exact type of house that I want. 2 stories, big ass backyard, 4 bedrooms,
Game room.
Bro, she got everything I wanted. It took us a long time to find this house.
It took us 6 months to find a house. So in this home search, I was getting a little nervous because we had a deadline and a budget. So how did we prepare for this? We made sure that we both were on the same page.
What does that mean though? You gotta elaborate. What does it mean being on the same page, baby?
We had to be on the same page about me quitting my job. Like, we had to know what
that took us like a month because I wasn't on the same page.
It took us a while. I remember one meeting you were like, yo, you need to make the same amount of money right after you quit. And I'm like...
So basically what that means, if she's making $12 an hour... Like, the next endeavor needs to make $14 an hour.
But he wanted that as soon as I quit my job. Like, and then I was like, that's unrealistic, right? If I'm going to be taking over household duties, if I'm going to be doing everything at home, if we're going to be, you know, doing YouTube and podcasts, how do you expect me to now have a full-time job? So I had to make sure we were on the same page. We were kind of hesitant about it, but we knew this is what we both wanted. I think for Kevin, I think he needed to see it in action for him to really understand what it looked like. I'm not sure. The craziest thing that did happen, honestly, was that the way I'm gonna say it is, I do believe that when our hearts joined on this life change, he started making more money without putting in that much extra effort. So when we were both like, this is what we're gonna do, we both agree, we both want this, I'm not holding any grudges or I'm not gonna be mean about it. It was like, boom, Kevin's money skyrocketed.
Well, I'm gonna start off this next narrative by saying, welcome to the Full Disclosure Podcast. I just want you to understand this. It took me a long time to commit to you, like exclusive, right? In New York, I was not exclusively committed to you. When we got to Texas, I became committed to you. But when we started to have conversations of like actually going into this house and, you know, having a future together, I became exclusively committed to you. And you are absolutely right. That's when like the money really started to come in. Like I remember this conversation. I'm never gonna forget this conversation ever. I remember one day I'm like, yo, I think I said some shit like, there was like a YouTuber an influencer that I was watching, and he would pay like X amount of dollars a month on his Lamborghini Aventador or some shit. And I told my wife that, and she ended up saying some shit like, yeah, like that's that's normal type shit. This was on the 4-digit, 5-digit, 6-digit type of shit, right? Mind you, I'm in Texas already. I'm still getting 3 digits. When she told me, she woke me up and she kind of like gave it to me so real. She was like, yeah, that's normal, like 4 digits. And then because I never, up to that point, we never had a joint account. We were still real. Because I really wanted my privacy on some stupid shit. You feel me? Like, I just thought like, yeah, you can have my phone, you can hold my phone, but like I'm not gonna tell you the last letter of my password. You know what I mean? I just need that type of privacy, which is ignorant because my childhood was fucked up. So like I had really a really bad mentor and shit. You know what I mean? Like not bad, but it wasn't productive for an adult. For a kid, maybe. For a youth, probably. For an adult. So that mentality kind of carried over to my adult side, and then my wife kind of, thankfully my wife is smart, and she kind of got me out of that. But she kind of made me realize that exclusive, being on the same page, and doing this marriage shit all the way for real. When I committed to that, and when like I really cared about that, to the best of my abilities, man, the blessings just started coming in. And I thought I was already blessed with my wife, but now, they really came in.
Well, thank you, babe. That's super sweet. One of the big things that we did was we started living off one income. So my money, I was putting it all aside. I was still paying some of the debt off because me and Kevin decided that we were going to pay some debt off.
When you were living off of my income, like, I didn't really mind it as much because, like, I think pressure makes diamonds. And then what was the best thing about having my wife, and when I started to, like, exclusively commit, it was just, like, it was more like she was breaking down the numbers. And what I loved about it, she was showing me how to break down the numbers. So then, like, she showed me her flow, broke down the budget to me, and once you made a budget, and once you showed me, like, this is where X amount of your money goes, this is where your gas goes, this is where once I figured that out, it gave me like a better understanding. And my gem that I'll give you today on the Full Disclosure Podcast, welcome, is you need to have understanding. Because if you don't have understanding, then you don't comprehend. And if you don't comprehend, you're basically a kindergartner. And I don't even want to do that.
So I've definitely am good with budgeting and, seeing where my money goes. I started doing that when I was going to Danny Johnson. I read a few Dave Ramsey books while I was here when I was trying to pay my debt off because I'm kind of big on being debt free. So definitely focusing on paying off debt was one of the major ones. But I do want to say that because Kevin and I are not on the same page about being debt free, right? Kevin is okay with that and I'm not. So today, actually, I had kind of like a revelation or like a little bit of a wake-up call. And this is the first time Kevin hears this also. Because we're not on the same page about being debt-free, I think that I'm going to focus more on being balanced moving forward as opposed to being debt-free. I don't want to set up a unrealistic expectation for a marriage where we will be unhappy or it'll put too much pressure on him, or if every time he says he wants to buy something, I'm like, nah. So I think that setting up a balanced budget makes a lot more sense. What does that look like? Like, yeah, last night we bought a camera and we didn't have the cash for it. I mean, technically we have cash for it, but that's not what the cash is for. So we bought a camera and I put it on my credit card, 4 points. But, that camera's not going to get paid off until probably, in a few weeks. And with that, I'm not saying that we're never... What I don't want is to have $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 of debt. I don't want to go buy a tripod or another computer tomorrow and put it on the credit card where now we're at $1,500 debt. So that's just kind of a little side note of what I realized this morning is that I have to be okay with the fact that we're not going to be debt free, but at the same time, I need to find the balance.
But hold on, baby. Let's not act like you're not a super playful and always want to have fun type of person. Like let's talk about what you did on your. All right, hold on. Let me boast myself up because I usually don't do this, but I am fucking vain as hell. That's why I would never commit suicide. Anyways, but what I'm gonna tell you right now is that I want you to understand, babe. I don't know if you knew about this. I paid my car off in full. So that means we have that X amount I used to pay every month for my car.
Yeah.
That's ours now.
Yes. In our
it's
pocket.
really mine. But, because I changed my life and I'm exclusively committed to this woman. Now it's ours, babe.
Yes, it is. That's how we got that camera. No.
Is that how we got the camera?
No, I mean, I think I do need to look at it that way, where that $575 should
That's
go
how
somewhere.
I look at it.
That's not how I've been budgeting because once we paid the car off, we had debt that we had to pay off. And we kind of, I kind of prioritized paying the credit cards off before our rent. So next month, like next paycheck is still gonna go towards our rent, but it's all gonna balance out. No worries, I got this.
So my question is to you is like, do we have debt or do you have debt? Or do I have debt? Because, hold on, before you answer that, because I know I don't have no debt.
We have debt.
What does we mean? Because I don't have no debt. Like my last name, my social has no debt at all. What about you?
We have debt.
So you have debt
married.
basically, right?
Is that how we're gonna budget
I'm
things
just curious
out right
though,
now?
because sometimes we don't know what our demographic is. We don't know if a 7-year-old is listening to this. We don't know if a 70-year-old is listening to this.
If we're married, what's yours is mine, what's mine is yours. Like
Yeah,
I
that-
said,
yeah,
that's
that's-
why. Like I said, that's why I wanted you to pay your car off, because if you died tomorrow, that car was gonna be mine, and I didn't want any debt.
Wow.
Come for me. Come for me.
Wow. Anyway, so let's talk about all the money you wasted with my money from my car note. We went where? Where did we go? Go ahead, tell me.
Well, at this point, we spent together, because our money's together. I do like to have some fun. We went to New Orleans for New Year's with the kids. We went on a mini shopping spree for, and a basketball game for our anniversary. And we went to Miami for a few days.
Hold on, you didn't add no commas, no periods to none of that. So first of all, you're saying we spent about how much?
Yo,
All that you just said.
the Miami trip was expensive. It was about $1,800.
Wait, I didn't know that. I thought if it was we, how come I didn't know that? 1,800 is a lot, babe.
Well, I put it was $500 for the flight, $250 for the it was $500. It was $500 for the flight, $250 for the car rental, the car rental, and $250 for where we stayed at. That's already $1,000.
That's $1,000. Yep.
So and then the rest of it was what we spent out there. I don't remember how.
Well, nevertheless, I did have a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie to you. New Orleans was pretty cool because New Orleans was like,
it was lit.
Yeah, it was lit. And it was lit at every hour. You know, It wasn't like dead and you had to walk to make it lit. No, it was lit, bro. But mind you, Texas had a hurricane. So a lot of people had to shelter over there in New Orleans. So it was, like, to me, I think it was the best time to go because there was, like, I love the ratchet shit, bro. Like, I'm fucking ratchet as hell. So there was a bunch of ratchet shit going on, and I loved every second of it.
So we actually went to New Orleans twice. We went to New Orleans in September and for New Year. Honestly, I do think that when we got here, as soon as we got here to Texas, we were in full grind mode. Yeah. And I think in the midst of it all, we kind of lost sight of life and of having fun. And I want to keep fun because we have 4 kids, and if Kevin's gonna be working hard and I'm gonna be working hard and I'm gonna be home all day with 4 kids, which is a lot, we need to make sure that we have fun and we do fun things and that we can escape from that for a little bit.
Baby, I love that you just said that because I don't know if I told them earlier, but when I was working, I don't know if, I'm gonna just talk for the both of us because we're married, right? So
we are actually really married.
When we were both working the 9-to-5s or whatever the fuck, those people at work were really our people. And I love the fact that we left that job so we can have our kids like that. We can have ourselves like that. So I really want to. So we can build.
Yeah, so we can build, definitely setting that foundation of us being our priority. And that was the biggest thing that a lot of people don't focus on that, right? Like even one kid, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 kids, boom. You go here, you go to this daycare, you go to this school. I'm going to see you in 8 hours. You pick them up. And this is really how I was living.
Eat, sleep, shower, and go to sleep.
That was it. You know, and then but then in the midst of all that, let me tell you, I'm mad the whole time, right? Because while I'm cooking, one is grabbing my leg. While I'm cooking, one is in the bathroom making a big mess, right? So I'm not really enjoying my kids. And at the end of the day, I'm not even raising my kids. Same thing with work. We're over here building somebody else's dream, and that's great. So there's not enough people building their dream. We have dreams, and if we have no dreams, we have a goal, right? We have something that we want to work towards. We have 4 kids, and we don't want to be average. We don't want to be mediocre.
Babe, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know I just cut you off, babe. I really, really, really want to big you the fuck up, babe, because I don't know if you ever. I never told you this like that. This is not in the script either, babe. I really appreciate, I love you, and I really admire, and you are a lot of inspiration to me because you make this shit go. And you showed me another way because if it wasn't for you, babe, I would have been in this rat race my whole life, just like everybody else. So I really, really, really want to tell you I love you. Air hugs.
I'm right here.
Air hugs. You know, babe, no, seriously, babe, all just aside, like, really, thank you so much for showing me another side, babe, and I hope that, moving forward, you keep showing me more, baby. Don't stop. Don't stop showing me, babe, because if you want I really want to be the one to make you the happiest and the most richest, the most flyest and everything. So you need to teach me. So like, I need you to teach me, babe. Teach me, take your time, be patient, because when I learn it, babe, you could just sit back and just raise my kids.
That's my dream. Oh my God. Okay. That was really emotional. I think I'm going to save that. Oh, I'm about to cry. And this is not even scripted. Honestly, a lot of this, okay, so that really means a lot because I think I said this in another episode. I do not feel as if I don't want to say I'm not good enough, but I don't ever feel like I'm doing enough. You know, I wake up at 5, 6, 7, and I'm always on go, go, go. I don't lay down in the bed till like 11, 11:30. And even at that point, I literally have to put my kids to sleep because they sleep on me. So from the minute I wake up to the minute that I lay down, I'm on go, go, go. And I never take a minute to pat myself on the back. I never feel like I'm doing enough. Like I said, I'm happy we're in this place. You know, I'm happy we're here. I'm happy we're building. I'm happy that we both agree that we want more than mediocre.
I'm happy that we could have been anywhere in the world with anyone in the world, but we're here with each other.
Me too, babe. Yes. I'm happy we both have dreams, goals, and I think we have a lot of the same qualities, but in different ways. Because, you know, Kevin's persistent is different than my persistent is a lot more active. I think his persistent is a lot talking about it, but that keeps my fire. And like he just said, I think it's about him saying, Eleni, this is what I want. Me being able to say, you know, this is kind of the goal, right? Kevin says, hey, this is what I want. And I'm like, okay, now I have to figure out how to make that happen. And that's hard for me because I've never done that.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. You don't really make it look that difficult, babe. You know what I mean? When I tell you, babe, like, I want this camera, like, what I like about you is you surprise me. And like, I thought I had an addictive personality, and I thought I didn't like surprises. I don't have an addictive personality, and I love surprises.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, I was going to buy your aliens and I was going to surprise you, but that was going to be a little bit hard because, like, how am I going to disappear for 3 days to do favor for no reason? So I can't buy your gift with your own money, right? Because then they'll talk shit about me. So
well, honestly, your money comes into my account. It's not like it comes to your account. It's not like it comes to our account. It literally comes to my account. So Thanks for fucking wasting my money, babe. I appreciate it.
Whatever. So yeah, like I said, this is a new journey, and I only want to get better at this. I know a lot of people. Wait, let me go on. I only want to get better at this. For myself,
well, I got better at this because we're married, and I ended up. Yeah. We didn't have a ring.
I got a ring. If you like it, put a ring.
And I loved it, so I put a ring on it.
Hey,
you know what I mean? So I am doing better at this shit, fellas. Big me the fuck up. Comment W for me.
I'm glad that Kevin's happy because I'm always fearful of what's going to happen. You know, I don't want to go back to work. I'll be honest. I don't. I want to be home with my kids. I want to improve me so my kids can improve. I know a lot of people online. I've seen a lot of posts online about people going through the same thing and being scared. This is really scary. They want to leave their jobs, but they don't want to leave the money. Our income went down by half. Literally by half.
It went down?
Our income? No, when I quit.
Wait, hold on. Because now you're trying to play me. Because I'm the fucking breadwinner.
Oh my
I'm
God,
HOH.
we were both...
hold on. Because I didn't know that shit.
HOH, hold on, ho.
That was good. But I'm the sole breadwinner here now. Like, I make all the money now. So you're telling me we lost how much money?
We lost half of our incomes.
Half means like 500 or more. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
We lost $50-something thousand. Wait, what?
Seriously? Oh, we lost 50 bands?
We can't go back now.
Oh, I remember we were in the highest tax bracket. Now we got
back down.
Now we don't get taxed for being in that bracket no more, right?
We won't be getting taxed, but we won't.
Which sounds good.
No, I want to get taxed. No, I want to get taxed like, what's his name? Jeff Bezos get taxed. Tax me. So people, they do want to leave their jobs because, you know, they want to be home with their kids. And by people, I mean mainly women. But to leave, they don't want to leave the money. They don't want to leave the comfort.
That, bro. What is that called in Dominican language? The chapeadoras?
I'm not a chapeadora, though. I'm putting a lot of work in.
No, you couldn't be a chapeadora with me, though. Like, what the fuck? I would have just did my chapeadora and then
They don't want to leave the money. They don't want to leave the comfort. They don't want to leave the purpose. And honestly, they don't want to leave the pseudo freedom.
I don't know what that means. What do you mean about the purpose and pseudo freedom?
So people, like moms, do want to be home with their kids, but they don't want to leave their jobs. You know, they don't want to. They want to leave their jobs, but they don't want to leave that money that's coming in. They don't want to lose the money. They don't want to lose the comfort.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose the purpose, because women, like, do you have a lot of purpose at your job? You know, when I was a teacher, I was helping, like, one of my students, when I first got her, she couldn't read at all. And when I was done with her in the year and a half that I worked with her, she was at a second grade reading level.
That's fire, babe.
So
all those that makes me want to tear up a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. This girl, I was like...
And you did that.
I've been looking at her like, how in the hell did you even get that answer?
First of all, hold on, baby. Well, like, what grade did you in? Are you in college?
I was sped. I was elementary sped.
Elementary sped, which was when I got to kindergarten, I wasn't sped yet. But when I got to first and second, actually when I got to second grade, I became spedish.
So they don't want to leave all of that, because there is a lot of purpose in
I didn't know that
work.
I never looked at it like that.
Yeah, like you.
I feel like I had purpose at work, but I didn't care when I left. Like I didn't give a fuck. Honestly.
Well, that's why I'm saying women.
Nice.
So yeah, definitely leaving your job and things like that. You know, it is scary, and you lose money. Like, we lost money as a family, but I also lost the ability to be able to just buy whatever I wanted. Quitting my job, being here, is the first thing, honestly, is finding my true self, changing my mentality. It's about being who I'm supposed to be, becoming the best version of me. That's the first step in me quitting my job. Then that's kind of automatically go to my kids. It's going to be raising them to be their true selves without having to conform. It's them being able to have, more freedom in what they do or say. It's them having more control over themselves. I have to definitely learn that and put that into practice. As a wife, I didn't put that in. As a wife, it's definitely improving my marriage. It's keeping my marriage at the forefront, because even last week I realized that I was just on go the whole week, that it was like, damn, I have a husband. I can't leave him last. He has to always be at the top, because, he makes the money. So, and ultimately, and I know that once all those things start falling into place, it's going to be about building our brand. And, for Kevin, it may be like, no, Eleni, our brand has to go first. But for me, my brand is going to automatically start to happen. And by brand, I mean like our businesses and stuff is going to automatically start to happen once I get my mind straight, once our kids are good, once Kevin's happy. Because if Kevin ain't happy, like, everything will fall to shit. If the kids are not okay, we wouldn't be able to do any of this. So it's kind of like starting there. It's finding more purpose in life. We probably will have to, it'll take longer to get a few things. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that a month into this decision, I feel great. We're definitely going to have our monthly recap and see how it went, see how he feels, see how I feel. But we're going to talk. We're going to, like, I know this is going to work. I have no doubt that this is going to work. We're going to build a lifestyle. We're going to design a lifestyle the way we want it. We're going to set up our kids for the future. I don't want nobody else to raise my kids. Mm-hmm. I say that humbly. I mean that I don't want my mom, my mother-in-law, my sister, my aunt. I don't want nobody else to raise my kids. I want to instill values that if I die tomorrow, my kids will be like, nah, my kids will be like, no, this is the way I'm going to do it, because I know this is the way that's best for me. There's a lot to learn. I am by no way an expert in any field, in any area about staying home or building anything. There's a lot to learn. But I do think, babe, that is probably the best part about this, that it will never get boring. It will not get boring for me, because I'll always have something to develop in myself. It won't get boring because I have 4 kids who are so needy in every way. I don't think it'll get boring for Kevin, because he has to keep up with me and the kids, So I don't think it'll ever get boring.
Babe, I really do appreciate a lot of the shit you're saying. I agree with a lot of the shit you said, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna be honest with you, it took me a long time to want to agree with that because I didn't really see it like you, babe. I really didn't. I didn't learn like that, man. I learned that you have to go to work. You know what I mean? You gotta go clock in. You gotta take your break at a certain time. You gotta take your lunch at a certain time. You gotta clock out at a certain time. You know what I mean? So now we're building. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I'm building 90% for my kids and 10% for me and my wife. 5 and 5. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I don't want none of my kids. Only speaking to one of my kids. I don't want lives to be the way I came out. I'm 32 years old, man, and I'm just starting to figure. I'm 32 years old and I never read a fucking book. You feel me? So when I move into my house, aka mortgage type of shit, you know, I'm gonna start reading books. I'm 32 years old and I never worked out like in my life. Like, never worked out in my life. When I get into my home mortgage type shit, I'm gonna work out, you know, because my wife does it, so she knows. And, you know, I'm gonna follow a routine, you know, it's just, but I'm building for my family, you know what I mean? I'm building for my family. I want all my kids to have their own home, mortgage type shit. I want all my kids to be like, yeah, you're fired and you're hired. You know what I mean? Like, I want all my kids to be like, yeah, we want blue instead of red. Like, these are CEOs we're trying to raise. But of course, before we raise CEOs, we need to turn into that. So this is the process that we're trying to build right now. What does family mean? CE fucking O.
And with that, we bring it to a close. We thank you for listening. We thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel. We thank you for following us on social media. Definitely. I don't know what you're listening to this on, but give us some feedback.
Yeah,
Tell
please.
us.
The feedback is important.
Okay, I don't know what our purpose is then, because we need to have a purpose.
Our purpose is to build us, because we're talking to ourselves. We're not talking to them. We're talking to ourselves.
So we're this is our way of improving our marriage, and I hope that bleeds over to y'all. We love each other and we love you because you're our neighbor. That's what the Bible says. Love your neighbor like you love yourself.
Constructive criticism is important.
The Bible don't say that.
Kevin says that. I'm HOA. Shut the fuck up.
But we bring it to a close. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing, for following us. Make sure you continue to check into the Full Disclosure podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.